boop 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 boop.
Boop, 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 boop. Beep,
Boop,
beep,
boop, boop,
beep.
boop, 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 boop. Do-do-do-do. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Casey, this acapella group that we've been getting together, the whole gang, I think we've got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
I think Discord's the platform for the next big concert scene, and how about using Namisa get hitting the roads?
Are you kidding me? I've always wanted to.
It's like Pitch Perfect. When I saw that, I was just like, that's me. That's literally me right now.
Yeah. The girl that was throwing up all over the place.
No, just Rebel Wilson in general. Like, every day I look at her and I'm like, God, that is me.
Rebel Wilson.
I'm quirky. I'm a bigger girl, and I'll make fun of myself all the time in all these movies.
Dark chocolate and blueberries.
Cool, blimey, I'm in all those ads. It's British.
Oh my God, I like seeing her.
Has Rebel Wilson been
Cats.
good? Oh, in Cats?
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, it's not because she's like great in Cats or anything, but like, isn't that the part where all the roaches have little faces and they're like, walking around the cake? Ugh.
And she like eats one or something. Oh my God, I forgot about the roach like scene. Like when that movie was coming out, one of my friends showed me that scene, and they're like, "Listen, I thought this was a joke. I thought somebody edited this, but it's real. It's in the movie." And I watched that scene.
I can't believe that.
And I was like, oh, no. This is very bad.
What happened to that guy, Tom Hooper? He did The King's Speech, which is one of the most like critically acclaimed films of all time.
Yeah, he did also the Les Mis adaptation, which
that's where it started getting mixed, but like most people I think do like it, despite Russell Crowe and like a few questionable choices.
I still thought the direction, at least with Les Mis, was way more on track than Cats.
It's just one wonders, like, did he have like some kind of like personal struggle in between Les Mis and Cats? Like the length between the two movies, there was a huge gap, and also the quality dip is, I mean, it just does not line up. Like what happened?
I don't know. I probably chalk it up to him wanting to do another like stage musical adaptation after Les Mis, but just picking the wrong one to do it, because apparently, from what I can understand, in Broadway, Cats is just as weird, and not a whole lot of people even like Cats as a stage like a musical. So
but
why he chose to do this
like a lot
one.
of performances.
Yeah.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber is just like, I mean, seen as a moneymaker, essentially. Like anything he writes will be on Broadway a long time. I mean, the same is with Phantom of the Opera, Jesus Christ Superstar. Is it Jesus Christ Superstar, or is it just Jesus? I don't know.
No, it's Jesus. It's Jesus Christ Superstar.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Don't flag this video.
Yeah.
Please, dear God. We can't even have an intro, apparently, without getting flagged.
Yeah, true. Our intro still being like, "Yo, there's music in here," and I'm like, "Yeah, there is. What do you want me to do about it? It's called sampling."
Ooh, speaking of music, have you heard of the Sia movie, Music?
Oh God, no. I only just heard about it, like, very recently, as in, like, yesterday, very recently.
Same here, as in, like, 2 days ago, recently. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm an expert in the field.
Yeah.
But it's basically her directorial debut, and it is about a girl with severe autism, but it's getting a lot of backlash as being ableist, which for one, the girl playing someone on the spectrum is not on the spectrum herself. It's Sia's daughter, I believe. And a lot of people seem to think that her performance is pretty good, but that that role should have gone to someone with autism if they really wanted to like make this movie. The other part of this film that is causing a lot of controversy is the portrayal of autism itself as some kind of like amazing like healing like power that like parents should view their opportunity with an autistic child to like change the world or whatever, like essentially putting a lot of pressure on the autistic community, like you really got to be spectacular if you have autism, which has been portrayed through like savant films in the past, where like characters with autism always have like magical powers, like the good doctor can like doctor any situation, or Rain Man be counting. Which Rain Man is one that people like, I think, but it's gotten a lot of backlash, and it's brought up the discussion of like how autism is brought to the silver screen, and like that kind of energy, and that it's often just to win awards, which I mean brings us to the point of why this movie's probably getting talked about. It is nominated for a Golden Globe, and let me check which one.
It's nominated for Best Musical / Drama, so it's like up for basically Best Picture for the Golden Globes, and then it's actress or musical score, I think, is one of those. It's definitely music. Yeah, it's definitely musical score. That's what I mean, I can look it up again just to be sure, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad that you can go back and watch Tropic Thunder and you can get that message that actors just like make movies about autism to win awards, and that sentiment has not changed at all in the past 13 years. Like Sean Penn was doing that with I Am Sam, and now Sia is doing the same with this movie. And I say that because even though this film might seem well intentioned, Sia's gone out and said that she thinks that people have blown it out of the water, like they've just canceled her, and it's not fair. Or maybe it was a critic that said that, but like Sia herself just has not done enough with the damage that this project has caused. Controversially, it used scenes involving restraint in the movie, and people with autism like face that kind of like barbaric practice still in like a lot of homes, and the consensus seems to be that like that was a really terrible move to even have that be in the movie and have it in theaters at all. Like she's added a warning like before the movie now to let people know that there are scenes of restraint, and then finally she removed the scenes of restraint from the movie, but it's like way too little, way too late. And yeah, it just seems really misguided. Like maybe not overtly like ableist, but definitely not helping the conversation when it comes to autism in media.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said about the movie, like I said, I've only heard about it just like yesterday. I was like reading some stuff up on it because I saw the nominations for the Golden Globes, and while I haven't I don't have necessarily have ever had family members or friends like with autism, with the exception of like one family member who recently passed away, but I think her condition was a lot more severe than that, and it was she was physically like bound to a wheelchair like all of her life, and I didn't really shoot, like I wasn't that like She was like kind of like a distant like relative, but I remember visiting her several times. So I can't qualify for somebody who knows a lot about autism and about, you know, just things that come with that. But what I've come to understand about Sia's movie is that you don't necessarily have to know a lot to understand that the movie is very ill-conceived. So, which is astounding to me because I hadn't even realized that Sia had made a movie, and let alone
I mean,
these.
I just heard about this too. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
This is kind of like a personal like topic for me. Like I don't know if many of the listeners of the podcast know, but my brother was diagnosed with severe autism at the age of 3. So growing up, like, you know, this was a very close to home subject for me. But like I'll say that a lot of my problems and issues with movies like this is that they're not really concerned about telling stories for people with autism. It's more like telling stories about how people with autism affect those around them in order to like garner critical acclaim or like pull at like very cheap heartstrings. And I think that's why individuals in the autistic community are so upset that this is another continuation of that trend. It's that, you know, the story of someone with autism has not ever been told on screen. You know, it's been told through like others or through people who think that they know best for people with autism. But like in terms of like the autistic community getting to add their voices to this movie, it seems like there was no involvement whatsoever, and like Sia really missed the mark here, where she could have like brought in any kind of like consultant, any individual with autism, and she just did not, and that's been a big problem for years. You know, another little short film that has been another subject this week as a result of Sia's movie is an Alfonso Cuarón directed commercial for Autism Speaks, and it's called I Am Autism. And at this time, Autism Speaks had in their mission statement that they were a nonprofit company concerned with finding a cure to autism. And this is like part of the same harmful language that I'm talking about, where, you know, autism is not a disease, and the classification of it as such has been misguided over the years and harmful to the individuals who have autism, because it essentially says that a person with autism is not a whole person. And the thing with Autism Speaks at the time when they made this commercial is that they did not have anyone with autism like on their board of directors, and most people with autism seem to hate this nonprofit company. But anyway, this commercial is crisp. It's got like it starts off with this voiceover, and it's like, I am autism.
Yeah.
I'm
very
gonna fuck up
sinister.
your shit. Yes. No, it's terrible. It's like the guy is like insinuating autism is this like life ruining like force, and it's like Satan like put autism on the earth to fuck with like married families and ruin your children's lives. It's like, you'll never get a night of sleep with me. If you have a happy marriage, it's gonna end in divorce. It's like, that's almost the line verbatim.
Yeah. No, it's horrible.
And then like like it has a turning point where, you know, it's supposed to be hopeful. Like the families come in and say, even though my child has autism and, you know, that's ruining my life and autism can only ruin my life, I'm going to be strong and I'm going to take my dumb autistic kid with me. And it's like, well, hold on. You're devaluing the whole personhood of your child. Like, the if you have a child with autism, they are a human being. They are a person. Autism does not define your shortcomings as a parent, you know, like
Yeah.
and I've heard that Alfonso Cuarón made this because he himself is a parent with a child with autism, but apparently this is just his belief that autism is terrible. There needs to be a cure, and that, you know, the people who raise autistic children are like strong. You know,
Yeah.
that's where the real strength comes from. Um, but you know, I would say that one of the biggest things that gets overlooked when it comes to like children with autism is like oftentimes if they're you know, incompatible with like their surroundings with the world, that's not a result of the person with autism like being unable to like cope with the real world. That is that's like their upbringing. There wasn't like a lot of effort put in to meet their standards, and that's one of the biggest things that films like this need to change. Is it needs to stop being about how people with autism affect the world around them. It needs to be about how the world around autistic people can be changed to be more accommodating for them. You know, like if a movie is like way too sensory intensive, like we need to look into ways that like that movie can you know, have screenings for people with autism, you know, like, and actually have like dedicated screenings for that. There's a lot of theaters that just do not air sensory friendly movies unless
Right.
organizations pay them to like let them have like a field trip. Like that's a struggle that I faced in my hometown, where one of the theater chains, Malco, actually, I'm not, you know what, I'm not afraid to say it. Let's get into brands.
Yeah.
Malco, you know, they we had a bad experience with my brother going to see the new Star Wars movie back in like 2015, and so we were like, well, if he can't go to a normal screening, do you have any sensory friendly screenings? And the corporate, you know, messaged back and was like, well, we already reached out to all the groups there and no one said that they were interested. And so unless anyone expresses interest in that, we probably will not be having any sensory friendly screenings, which, like, you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
One, I highly doubt that you reached out to anyone. Two,
Mm-hmm.
you know that, like, if you just put in the effort, like, people have to be emailing them. Like, I emailed them. Like, you know, here is your interest right there. Here is like the people who want sensory friendly screenings. They are messaging you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you're not gonna add sensory friendly screenings, don't kick people with autism out of your fucking theater chain if they go to a normal screening, which they're paying money for, and have a couple like road bumps with like some of the sound effects in your movie.
Mm-hmm.
And like in that incident, I'm not entirely blaming Malco. Like I get that in this situation you also have to have a bunch of people who are uneducated, who are complaining to like the theater manager and saying like, oh, can we get this guy out who's making a bunch of noises and who's clearly autistic and
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. I remember Donna had told me about that at the Malco, and we were like going to the Malco because like I think Malco was showing a movie that AMC wasn't, and that we really wanted to see. And she's like, I don't like going to this theater, and I was like, why not? And she like told me about that happening, and I just remember being like so flabbergasted. I was like, what the hell? Like, why? And I asked her the same thing that you guys asked them. I was like, do they not have any like like screening times for that, like you saying, like sensory friendly screenings? And she was like, no, I guess not. And so we try to avoid the Malco like at all costs, and so we just started going AMC because fuck Malco. That's really, really disheartening for one, and just like very distasteful in my opinion. Like it should be in everybody's opinion, honestly. Like it's just an ill-fated move on their part to do that.
It's very blatantly ableist, and
Yeah, definitely.
let me tell you, Malco, national chain, and I believe that they were at one time the largest theater chain, but I'm very glad to say that AMC has overtaken them. In large part, probably due to this year-long boycott. I noticed not a lot of people have been going to their theaters this past year, and I'm just really inspired that.
Yeah, they're
I took it. I took it a step further. I've been boycotting all movie theaters. I just have not been going to the movies this past year. And,
right. Yeah.
let me tell you, it's been working. Their sales have gone down majorly. I think they're getting the message.
They'll get it through their. How many times do we have to teach this lesson, old man? Yeah. I want to go back to the movie theater so bad, though. Not
Me
Malco,
too.
but a movie theater.
Malco's
Malco's
Cinemark in town's good to me. AMC
Yeah.
in Fort Smith's good to me. AMC
True.
anywhere, man. That's a good
Oh,
chain
yeah.
right there.
Definitely. I like AMC. And I like Cinemark. But I remember several years ago when there were more than just two movie theater chains, like Carmichael. Like Malco is sort of like the last of a dying breed with how it's just like this random ass, theater chain that isn't as big as AMC or Cinemark. But that another theater company could easily just absorb into their like corporation, like AMC did with Carmichael.
Yeah.
Or wasn't it they took over Carmichael, right? Or at least
I think it's just called Carmike though.
Oh, is it just called Carmike? No,
Yeah,
no.
isn't it?
Okay, so no, in Harrison, where I used to go to the theater, like we had a drive-in at Marshall, and I would go to the drive-in all the time, obviously. But if I wanted to see go out and see a movie, we always went to Harrison or Branson to the IMAX to see it. In Harrison, their theater was called Carmichael, not Carmike, just Carmichael. Because I specifically remember they had like a cursive like handwriting neon sign, and then that theater like went out of business because they were really shitty, and then AMC took over, and now the theater's way better. And I used to go up to Harrison all the time and spend the whole day up there watching movies at the AMC. I was an AMC Stubbs member, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
AMC Stubbs, you say?
Stubbs for studs, man.
Bro, I feel like I should be a Stubbs member, but like after that whole movie pass business, like I just, there'll never be a rewards program any better, because that rewards program was literally losing money for the people who made it. That was cool. Did you get in on movie pass?
No, I
Back in
didn't,
the day?
because I knew it was an ill-fated voyage, and I didn't want any part of it. And I told my friends not to get in on any part of it because they're gonna end up just getting mad when they run out of money. Because when I heard about it, I was like, that economically does not make any fucking sense. So I looked into it, and I was like, okay, I was right. This doesn't make. They're literally losing money just to pay for people's tickets. Like, how the hell do they think this is a good idea? And so everybody kept asking me, do you have Movie Pass? Do you have Movie Pass? And I just refused to get it. I was like, no, that's going to crash and burn very soon. Lo and behold, 3 months later, like not even 3 months after me like telling everybody that, it crashed and burned. And I was like, I'm glad that I didn't get that, because people had tried to go see movies and it wasn't working for them for like a week or two before the company finally just dissolved. And I was like, yeah, I'll stick with my Cinemark rewards program. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end there, it was getting hard to actually watch movies with your movie pass. But I will say, as someone who invested when it was fucking broken, where you would spend $10 a month, and you would get to see however many fucking movies you wanted to see. It is glorious. I went and saw whatever the fuck I just wanted to see. Like one day, I was bored and I was like, oh, 50 Shades Darker's playing. Do you want to go see it on the IMAX screen? Because it's a free screening. And me and my roommate went. And, I've never seen any of the other 50 Shades movies. Nor do I think I would have a will to watch them again. But that was a wonderful experience. I mean, I've not been to the IMAX since.
Yeah, no, I watched the first 50 Shades of Grey movie, and that's all I can take. That's all I'm gonna do ever again.
Dude, softcore porn for horny moms is
and it's not even good porn. It isn't. Like, it's a boring movie. Like, all of it is boring. Like, absolutely all of it. It's so stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry. I do not want to talk about 50 Shades of Grey.
No, yeah, let's not do it. Dude, did you happen to catch any other movies that are involved with the Golden Globes at all, or just like anything really?
So last night I started watching The Little Things with Denzel, Raimi, and our boy Leto. And
yes, I've been kind of wanting to watch that.
Well, let me tell you, Isaac. Last night I fell asleep. I didn't even realize I fell asleep, but I woke up later, way early into the morning. I was like, oh shit, I fell asleep. I missed it. But I had 40 minutes left of the movie. But it is a long movie. It's a 2-hour and 7-minute movie.
My gosh.
Script was written and sold in the 90s and never got made until now. The atmosphere, the aesthetic of the thing, the performances, and the direction, it's all there. It's all crystal clear. It's all great. But the script is probably one of the most, the slowest and the most unoriginal serial killer, stories of all time. It is so... I don't understand why this script was circulating for, 25 years and then finally decides to get made now. Yeah, because it's very obviously a movie for the 90s. If this had come out in the 90s, it'd probably be to a way more critical acclaim, maybe, but I could see them, they probably changed the script a lot. But let me tell you, this is probably one of Jared Leto's finer performances, because I do not like Jared Leto as an actor that much. I thought he was okay in Panic Room. I thought he sucked in in Suicide Squad. And what other films has he been in? I know I've seen him in other stuff, but I just haven't ever gravitated towards him. But let me tell you, in this movie, it's pretty good. So is Denzel and so is Rami Malek. It's all it's all there, everything's there. It just is not that captivating. There's something very wrong with this script. And the editing is absolute dog shit. The editing sucks, but
oh gosh.
Anyway, but that
I'm reading that this director is the one who wrote it 30 years ago.
He was the writer? I had no idea.
Yeah, the director is also the writer, and he he wrote it originally 30 years ago. It was supposed to come out even before 7 came out.
Yeah,
and that's why it's a little strange to see it get compared to a movie like 7, because it's did you rip that off, or was your screenplay always like this?
Yeah.
Does it give you 7 vibes? Is that fair?
The vibe of the movie gives me 7 vibes, because 7's a serial killer movie, and all serial killer movies pretty much have the same vibe. But now I haven't finished it, so I still need to watch the last 40 minutes. But this film reminds me nothing of 7. I don't know what the hell people are talking about, especially if it was written before 7. There's no like they've already, like, I'm at the point in the movie where like the killer, and this is obvious about the trailer, so it's not spoilers. They're communicating with the killer. They've already brought him in for questioning and everything, or who they think is the killer with Jared Leto's character. But he doesn't like. I thought maybe like. I was like, okay, maybe it'll feel more like Seven, like towards the end. Maybe he's like gonna turn himself in, like what Kevin Spacey did in Seven when he just walks in as detective. But not he didn't even do that. Like nothing like that. Nothing. The way the killer acts is nothing like Seven. Like his MO is nothing like the killer from Seven. The detectives act nothing like the detectives from Seven. They're completely different characters. I don't know what people are talking about. I don't see it. Maybe I need to finish the film, but no, this film is nothing like Seven. Seven's way better than this. But I don't know.
No, I mean it definitely sounds like a sloppy movie, and it's HBO Max exclusive, or it's in theaters too. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to watch it, hop on my HBO Max account if you don't have one.
Well, and then go watch Judas and the Black Messiah, because apparently that's a much better movie than this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I've been meaning to watch that, but
I think that's maybe on my watch list for this next week. I definitely want to catch it.
It is on mine.
I was good. I watched film too.
Yeah, what'd you
I don't know
what
if
did you
I
lay
want to
your
go
eyes upon?
I don't know if I want to go the bad route or the good route, Casey, because I watched a really bad movie and I watched a really good movie.
Hey man,
what do you want to hear first?
Go the good route, and then I'll tell you about a good movie that I watched, and then I'll tell you about a bad movie that I watched, and you can tell me about a bad movie that you watched.
Hell yeah. Okay. I watched Minari this week. Have you heard of Minari?
Oh, yes. I know Minari well. I have not seen it yet because I don't know where to watch it, but hey guys, Casey here, post-recording. This audio cut out. Don't know what happened, so I'm just going to tell you what Isaac said. Basically, there's this way on A24's website where you can basically screen a movie for 4 hours, and after that 4 hours, it'll be unavailable to you, but you can basically watch it. You can pick a time, like a screening, like you would in a theater, and you can watch the movies that they have on there, and that is basically what Isaac did with Minari. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. He said it was really cool, so y'all should go check that out if you want to watch any of the movies. And sorry about the technical difficulties. We're figuring it out. Yeah, here you go.
We got like an 8 o'clock screening and we watched it, and
that is so dope. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
No, it's interesting because it has your name on the screen, and it shifts around so you can't record the movie and subsequently like crop out that tag. So it's cool. Got like a slight anti-piracy measure, but like I didn't even notice it after a while because I was really engrossed in the movie.
That's dope.
This is like a semi-autobiographical movie about the director and his Korean family, like moving to Arkansas in the 80s and you know, trying to make a life for themselves here. And it's slower than your average movie, sure. And people who are thinking like, oh, Korean film set in America, you know, this must be Parasite, but in Arkansas. Like, no, that's not what it's going for, like, at all.
Right.
And this is a very grounded movie. There's no like thriller excitement things like in Parasite, and it's fine for that. Like, it's a completely different movie. Just know what you're getting into. It's really beautiful though. This director clearly has taken like a lot of scenes out of his life that just like deeply affected him. You know, the struggle that his parents faced in adjusting to life in America. Particularly, there's like a really tough to watch scene involving a stroke that just really got me, man. And I've got to say, like, all the performances are so solid. Like, Stephen Young especially stuck out to me because he's
a god.
You know, I know him from The Walking Dead, and like he often plays like teenagers on like cartoons and shit. But here he's speaking Korean, which I knew he was bilingual. I just had never seen him in like a movie where he speaks Korean. I know there's Burning out on Netflix, which I still need to watch. But he's absolutely incredible in that language. And then on top of that, when his character speaks English as a second language, he's just got the mannerisms of someone who is learning English just down perfectly. Like he sounds like many Korean people I've met abroad who speak English, like just like the accents and the weird mannerisms that carry over from Korean to English. Like it's just amazing the work he's doing, and it's the same with everyone in the movie. I don't know many of the other actors' names. I know the little kid in this movie, Alan Kim, though, because he introduced our screening. He was like, "I'm Alan Kim, and this is a really great movie that I was in," and he's adorable. I love him now. Watch out for him.
That's sweet. Yeah, I've heard it's like everything you're saying. Like I've heard the same thing. Like I've heard it's great, and I'm really excited to watch it because I absolutely adore Korean filmmaking like a lot. So
yeah,
I'm excited to watch it.
Especially, I gotta gush on one more point. The score in this movie has definitely got to be like the top contender of the year, because like holy shit, dude, it was so good. I don't know, if you watch the movie, you'll see in like the opening minutes like how good the score is, and you'll be like, wow, and you'll have it on in your car because you're that weird kind of person who listens to scores in your car, Casey.
But I do.
The hell is wrong with you, Casey?
I'm sorry, I do. Okay. Shit, I'll probably look
one
up
time
the score
Casey
now.
picked me up, and there was just this like droning, like scary music in his car. I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, this is the Mindhunter season 2 soundtrack.
Yep.
If you ride with Casey, it might sound like you're about to get murdered.
It might, yeah. I think
just depends on what he's watching.
That's very true. I don't remember who was in the car with me the other day. It might have been Donna, but I had the Under the Skin soundtrack on, which is that really like
god,
weird.
I've not seen the movie, but I know
yeah,
it's like very tense.
I had that soundtrack on because it slaps, and Donna was like, Casey, what the hell are you listening to? She's like, I feel like I'm about to like die or like get abducted. And I'm like, this is a really cool soundtrack from a film I found. But
Yikes.
But yeah, I definitely need to check out Minari. I'll probably listen to the soundtrack before I even watch the movie. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I look up soundtracks and listen before I watch the movie, and then it's really cool to see how the soundtrack is incorporated into it. But
I used to do that. I should do that again. What have you seen? That's good. I thought of another good movie I saw. I'm gonna save it.
Okay. I watched. I'll go ahead and just like lump 3 in because it's like kind of like the same category or the same.
Oh.
I watched 3 scary movies this weekend, or this past week, and 2 of them were Wes Craven films that I regrettably had not seen in full until now. And that was Scream and A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. I had never...
I've still not seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dude,
all the way through. You
should. I liked it. It's terrifying. It's the first like horror movie from the 80s that I was actually genuinely horrified by. Really? Like watching like one of the very first death scene is just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The movie is very, very informed by Wes Craven's, strict Baptist upbringing, which I think is really cool. And then Scream just has like one of the best screenplays ever written, like the smartest, most just this is the dopest screenplay,
Scream's such a sharp movie.
Oh yeah, it's so sharp and witty, and when the script was going around Hollywood, it went around for a weekend, and there was a huge bidding war for it, and Miramax acquired it with Drew Barrymore already attached to the script, and they were like, let's give this to Wes Craven. That would be fun.
Oh my gosh.
And Wes Craven only elevated it, I can imagine, because yeah, it's a great, like, Scream is great. If y'all have never seen the first Scream movie, and even I started watching the second one, and the second one even starts off really, really well. Like, I'm a little bit into that one, and I enjoy it too. So Scream is just a good franchise, is what I'm coming to understand. So yeah, and then speaking of Korean film, I watched a Korean horror film that was remade in America. You may know a movie called The Uninvited.
I don't actually.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so The Uninvited was like a 2010 American remake of the Korean film called A Tale of Two Sisters, and this movie is part of the Korean New Wave of cinema. And the Korean New Wave it involves directors like Bong Joon-ho and I think I don't want to butcher his name, but I think it's Kim Ji-woon is the director of A Tale of Two Sisters.
Oh, Ji-woon Kim.
Ji-woon Kim, okay.
And I'm looking, this is the guy who did I Saw the Devil.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, we and you watched that together, right? I Saw the Devil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was so solid. I really liked I Saw the Devil.
Yeah, yeah. And then Park Chan-wook, or is that how you say his name? He did what did he do? Hold on. I'm watching another movie by him right now called Lady Vengeance. That is absolutely magnificent. I haven't finished it yet.
Are you talking about Chan-wook Park?
Yeah. Sorry, do you have
the old boy guy?
Yeah, he did Old Boy, yeah, and The Handmaiden. So that guy, these like three directors were like really prominent, and they're not the only three. There's just the three most notable ones in the Korean New Wave of cinema, and they're really into very what's the word I'm looking for? They're like genre films, but they're super like over the top sort of genre films. I think like Korean cinema is the best at genre. Like they know how to elevate it. And A Tale of Two Sisters is scary. It's pretty terrifying, and just a slightly problematic, just a little bit, but still pretty good. Yeah, I mean, if you ever watch it, you'll understand what I mean. But it's got a twist that's kind of like, oh, okay, but no, the performances and the direction of it is amazing, and America redid it, changed the title. Probably it's worse. It's not as critically acclaimed as A Tale of Two Sisters is, but yeah, man, that's
Uninvited. I had never heard of it.
Yeah, I remember when that came out when I was a kid. I just never watched it, and I still don't want to watch it.
I'm looking into it right now.
Yeah,
Emily Browning. Yeah, no, this one has like a 6.3 versus like the Chad Tale of Two Sisters like 8.1.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's just how it always is. I don't think I can think of like too many American remakes other than like The Departed that really expand on like the original films, like
there's not a lot, honestly. There's not.
The Ring, I think also like people seem to like a lot, but I also hear that people like Ringu a lot more.
That's true. But there's also the Grudge was as well a Japanese movie at first, and then they remade it,
and it was they finally got it right in 2020. They released it, and it was the best version to date.
Oh my god, the best version to slam your head into a wall too. That movie was so awful, and I saw it in theaters, Isaac. I saw it in theaters.
What a mistake, Casey.
What a horrible mistake. Me and Luke and Donna just laughed through the whole thing. Like, I know that's like the teenager thing to do, to laugh through a horror movie, but
but I mean,
it was so laughable. Like, it was a comedy. I was like, what the hell?
How did they market it? Were they saying Sam Raimi was like a huge part of it? Was he involved at all?
I don't know. I think maybe he was. The way they were marketing it, or the way the trailers marketed it, it was like way more faithful to the original story, and it was going to be way more scarier. It wasn't.
That did not happen.
No, it did not. Yeah, Sam Raimi was a producer on it. That's why they were. Yeah. But the director has done nothing so far. Like he has movies, but none that are notable at all. And The Grudge, part of why the new Grudge was so laughable to me was that it tried so hard to be like something it wasn't, which is a art film, and it just sucked. So, anyway.
Right. So I watched another really good movie that I want to get into before the bad one.
Hell yeah.
I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't seen it, but I have heard the Oscar buzz around Chadwick Boseman's performance. Is that the same one I'm thinking of?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And, dude, get hype because
okay.
the Oscar buzz and Golden Globe buzz around Chadwick Boseman is completely, like, deserved. Like, you know, it's so gratifying to see, like, an actor in their last role, like, just get to show off their mastery of, like, acting. You know, I fully believe that Chadwick Boseman will win a posthumous award for this movie, and
Same.
it will be well deserved. Like,
yeah.
I truly think once anyone watches this, there'll be no doubts. Like, this is a masterful, like, amazing performance, and I'm really glad that he got to do this before he died, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, Black Panther is a great way to go out or whatever, but this is like probably stuff he was more passionate about. Ma Rainey is based on like an August Wilson play from the 1980s. Denzel Washington is a producer for this movie, and he's previously adapted August Wilson's work into Fences, which I still have not seen the movie adaptation of, but I love that play very much. Mm-hmm. But I had not read Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and let me tell you, this is just such a sharp hour and a half. The dialogue just is amazing. The themes of this movie just are still relevant today, sadly. And the performances are all amazing across the board. Like, obviously, Chadwick Boseman is getting a lot of hype, but Coleman Domingo from Euphoria is amazing in this movie. Viola Davis, I was like unrecognizable to me for like the first 20 minutes, and then I was like, holy shit, that's Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Just everyone in this movie is giving it their all, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. It's on Netflix. You're gonna want to catch this one before the Oscars come. But
I definitely will.
So yeah, that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, definitely recommend checking it out. I did watch one more movie this week.
Let's hear it.
That I think you've probably seen before.
Okay.
And that would be Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah, baby.
You know, we in it now.
It used to be my favorite. Did you know that when I was little? Attack of the Clones was my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah, right next to Revenge of the Sith. It was my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Then I got older and watched it again. I was like, oh.
No,
Only gets worse with time.
God, dude, it's a fucking mess. I mean, like, from the start, it's way worse than I remembered. Like, the explosion at the start, I guess there was no danger at all.
Yeah.
And Keira Knightley being killed off immediately. Yeah. Like, you know, I was glad to not have to suffer through any more of her, like, wooden delivery in this movie. But also, it's just so abrupt and so fast. Yeah. And, like, if there's anything I've got to say about, like, Attack of the Clones, it's, like, everything is so fucking, like, half-baked and confusing. Like, why, like, at any point you could ask, why is this happening? And there's not really that great of an answer to that question.
I always think of the very first 30 minutes of the movie. There was a video or like a meme. It was a guy like ranting about how preposterous the assassination attempt is because Chancellor Palpatine, secretly hires Jango Fett to kill to kill her, and then Jango Fett hires the changeling to do it, and then
the changeling's name is Zam.
Zam, yeah, and then the changeling gets the robot to go over there. The robot releases centipedes to kill it. It's the stupidest shit ever, dude.
This is why there's that adage, if you want something done, do it yourself.
Do it yourself, exactly.
Because the other adage is, if you want something done, hire someone else to hire someone else to hire someone else to use something else to use something else to get the job done. It just does not work as well.
It's ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. Oh my god, I guess I had never critically thought about that scene before. Like, in my head, I'm just thinking, like, oh, Jango Fett meeting up with Zam and not doing the job himself is kind of weird. Like, also, here's what I like about Jango Fett, This man is so professional. He's not just going to send you, like, a space hologram saying, like, go kill Padme. He's going to show up and meet you at Coruscant behind some random-ass building and give you, what? Does he give her the centipedes?
He gives her the centipedes.
Yeah, he's going to show up, and he's going to give you the centipedes to do it, which essentially says, like, I could have done this myself. I don't want to, though, because that would be too easy.
Yeah.
And he's going to let you do it, and then apparently he's going to follow you around the whole time anyway. So another opportunity for him to have done the job and just not. And then he's going to kill you if you get caught, like that's the Jango Fett guarantee. He'll show up and he'll show out every time. Will he do the job? No.
He'll be there though.
But that's the whole movie. It's just this weird, like, ladder of, like, events are happening because people higher up have, like, orchestrated them. And, like, I get that George Lucas at the time was probably frustrated with the Iraq War. Or maybe, he's not bullshitting about the fact that he wrote this in the 70s. I doubt that. But, maybe this was supposed to be a criticism of the Vietnam War. Either way, while I think that's a great theme, government misusing its power and, like, war being this really shady practice in the first place where people fighting it don't really know what they're fighting for in the first place. I think in this movie, it's not all that well done. I think it's just fucking confusing at any point. Like, I realized that I didn't really know who the bad guys, like, really were after a certain point. Like, I know that there's the separatists, but, like, at no point do they seem to be doing anything all that, like, aggressive towards the Republic. Like, there's that one assassination attempt, and then Obi-Wan literally goes and stirs the pot and, like, shows up to Geonosis and is, like, clearly snooping around, and then he gets kidnapped. And then that's the start of the Clone Wars. Like, oh, you guys kidnapped one dude, so we're gonna have to show up blasting.
Yeah, literally.
Like, that's my understanding of why this war is happening. That these people just don't want to be a part of the Republic, so the Republic sends one guy to go snoop around. And I mean, I guess I don't know if Padme needing to be killed was, like, on Viceroy Gunray orders or on Palpatine's, because Newt Gunray also seems to want Padme dead the whole movie. There's, like, a lot of weird dialogue where he's like, I need that Padme to be dead.
Yeah.
Please kill her.
Yeah.
Shoot her.
Shoot her. I think...
Shoot her or something.
I hate Star Wars, like, accents of, like, the prequels.
No, it's so racist.
It's so racist. It's so bad. But Attack of the Clones is probably the most poorly written one, and
It was also the longest at the time too.
Yeah, and
I
it
felt
didn't need
that.
to be. I think the whole Geonosis like subplot with him going and discovering the clones is cool. Like it's a cool mystery, but like you said, like an entire army shows up that starts a war over one Jedi that, if you think about it, is not even that important in his name to the Jedi Order. He's only popular to the people watching the movie, you know, like
Yeah.
because we know what that character becomes and the rest of his history, but uh, he's not that important to the Jedi, the Jedi Order for them to just be like, all right, well, get 100,000 troops and 55 Jedi, and we're gonna go and we're gonna kill Count Dooku and we're gonna slay some people. It just, I don't know. It's
He's George Lucas is just like throughout this entire movie just wants your knowledge of the original trilogy to bolster it. Like he wants you to know that Anakin being Darth Vader, he wants that to excuse Anakin the person. Like he forgets to make Anakin likable in any way. Like one of the big points of this movie is that it's supposed to be Anakin's like descent to the dark side, or it's supposed to at least show some of Anakin being a good person, and at no point is Anakin anyway like tolerable in this movie. He's whining
even as a
from
child.
the opening minutes. Like as a child, like honestly, this might be a hot take, but watching Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones back to back, I like child Anakin a little bit more than Padawan Anakin in this movie, because like dude is insufferable. He just
Are you an angel?
whining.
Are you an... I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Oh my god.
This movie has such like worse lines that a grown man is now saying like,
I know.
I hate sand.
It's coarse,
And it's rough and it gets everywhere.
Wow,
I thought of you every day. I thought of Padme every day, and she forgot me. Obi-Wan's so unfair.
the Jedi Order is unfair. No, my favorite dialogue from Anakin comes in Revenge of the Sith. And I mean dialogue is in like ironic, like favorite dialogue is in ironic. Yeah. I think his dialogue in Revenge of the Sith is really cringe, bro. But there's no doubt Attack of the Clones is the worst.
There's just not a lot going for it between the romance scenes and Obi-Wan being like a wannabe noir detective. Yeah, like, there's just not a lot going for this movie, and I do want to ask your opinion on something. Do you like Yoda's action sequence? Like, do you?
Oh, I love his lightsaber fight with Dooku.
Really?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's okay. I mean, I just think it's cool to see Yoda fight. You know, we don't see him like fight in the original trilogy, and I think it's really cool to be able to see him. I think his fight with Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith is way better. But I do like the Count Dooku fight too. Like it's all right.
What I like about the Revenge of the Sith fight a bit more is that it's more Force oriented, and I've always thought that Yoda is that kind of character anyway.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
I've never really cared for him using a lightsaber because I think it looks silly, but
His is shorter than
this
everybody
movie
else's.
especially was ridiculous. Like Yoda shows up and Dooku throws like a chair at him, and Yoda uses the Force to stop it, and Dooku's like, oh, okay, then I'm gonna slowly move these rocks at you, and Yoda uses the Force to stop it, and then finally Dooku's like, oh wow, that's super impressive, bro, I'm gonna shoot some lightning at you. And that's like the only cool part of that exchange is like Yoda catches the lightning, which I think up to that point was not something that was established as something that could be done. It's like one of the rare instances in the prequel trilogy where we see something new get done with the Force, and we don't just retread the old grounds of like Force lightning and choking and pushing. Like the thing about the original trilogy I like so much is the Force is so vague. The Force could do anything. Like, if you watch Return of the Jedi, for all you know, the Emperor could like stop Luke's heart if he just thought. Like if he just used his mind, he could like do that.
Like,
but then
die.
the prequels thoroughly established, like, no, the Force is like this very limited palette of pushing people, pulling people, choking people, or Force lightning them. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all you can do with the Force.
That's it. That's all you can do.
And
Yeah.
like, also the robes that the Jedi wear, like Obi-Wan is wearing those robes in A New Hope because he's out in the desert. Like, he's trying to keep sand out of his face. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like what he needs to wear on Tatooine. But somewhere along the way, like, George Lucas was like, that is the uniform of the Jedi. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense that it's the uniform of the Jedi, because, like, why are they dressed like that? They're on fucking Coruscant,
Yeah.
It's like a city with no environmental challenges whatsoever. They just must be, like, hot and stuffy all day long.
Could you imagine filming in that shit too? Like, my God.
God. I mean, maybe they get to wear, like, pajamas underneath. Like, maybe that's the appeal.
Yeah, true.
I hear Yoda was incredibly terrible to work with. Like, he was like, I'm a puppet. I want to be CGI now. It's like, oh my God, you little bitch.
You little bitch.
What do you think of, like, I'm sorry, I'm having so many random thoughts. What do you think about, like, that Jedi room where, like, the blinds are closed and it looks just like a window with, like, closed blinds, and, like, that's where, like, they have all the important meetings in this movie?
Oh my God. Ooh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know. It's the place where in the third movie, or is it the second or the third, where they're like, you may be granted the rank of Jedi, but you will not be like on the council or whatever.
No, that's, like, the main council room. I'm talking about, like, Yoda's, like, dank kush room, where, like, he goes in there to, like, try and see into the future often.
Oh, yeah. I always thought it was the same room. I guess not.
No, but, like,
I don't know. It's like weird, definitely. I don't know what you mean by it though. Like,
dude, I'm just saying, it looks, like, extra, like, weird with, like, the set design. Like, it looks like Yoda is going in there to, like, smoke weed.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He has he's just got, like, the blinds closed. Like, why are they meeting in complete darkness like that? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, the Jedi, they have so many exposition scenes take place in that room, and I'm just like,
Oh my God, yeah.
what is the point? What?
It's the
I don't know.
Jedi.
That's such a minor nitpick, but it just really bugged me this time around. I'm like, what the fuck? It might be Yoda's quarters.
It might be.
Google search that. I never really understood where they're supposed to be. Yeah, it's Yoda's quarters.
Okay.
And if you'll see, yeah, it's just like Yoda's got, like, a little couch, and then he's got all the blinds closed. And they meet there, like, all the time. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Attack of the Clones, I would say, is worse than Phantom Menace,
Oh
probably.
yeah. I mean, it's got all kinds of problems. Like, I can't. I honestly can't, like, believe just how it was an ill-fated voyage, my friend. Attack of the Clones was. Every time I go back and watch it, I notice things. Same thing with, like, I said this about Phantom Menace last week. Like, every time I go back and watch it, there's just things that I'm like, wow, like, we really doing this? We really, you know?
It's just such a shame, man. The Star Wars movies that came out, like, 20 years ago have already aged way worse than the ones that came out 40 years ago, You can go back to the original trilogy and watch those movies and think, like, wow, this is aged significantly better than this prequel shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm staying optimistic going back into Revenge of the Sith. It's been a while since I've watched it with the context of the full trilogy behind it, so we'll see what an ending that is.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about Revenge of the Sith, because I kind of admire Revenge of the Sith a little bit, but also I can attest that it's just as bad as the other two, but it's just a little bit better in my opinion, and I think it's way more entertaining than Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
I'm definitely excited to revisit it, because I'm having a hard time remembering like how much better it is. Like, you know, in my head right now, it's kind of on par with these other two. But I'm hoping to be surprised. You know, I
Yeah.
hope going in with lower expectations of it that it'll surprise me again. I have watched clips of it with my friends in the past year, but like mostly the meme stuff. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Memorizing the dialogue and
yeah, I'll bring uh, peace and order to my new empire. Your new empire.
Yeah, dude, it's
Only a
very
Sith deals in
quotable.
absolutes. Yeah, no, that's the thing is like Revenge of the Sith is the only one that I remember like quotes from. Like these other two really do not have any like stellar dialogue. I mean, none of the movies have stellar dialogue,
Right.
but like
It's
they're just
some
not
of
as
it's just more
quotable.
memorable than others.
I will say Attack of the Clones was probably a lot more quotable than Phantom Menace, though. I mean, you've at least got the Anakin stuff,
Yeah, it's true.
and I love democracy.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel so sorry for Hayden Christensen.
Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he works on a farm now. He did Star Wars and then bounced back off to the
Well, I heard that
to
it
the
was
lands.
like he actually like wanted to go like take care of his family. Like
Oh, yeah,
very,
no,
like a Rick Moranis like style of leaving acting where
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wants to.
I'm sure that was the thing, but
He is confirmed to be Darth Vader again in the new Obi-Wan series. Like they're gonna bring him back.
that's
you hear that?
yeah, I did hear that. I had to think for a second, but
Yeah.
yes, they reported that he was going to be is it a series or is it going to be like a movie or the
It's gonna be
Obi-Wan
a
thing?
series.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. I'd like to see like if he's like matured and he is like an actor, or if he's gotten like I don't know, like I'm just excited to see him.
Yeah,
Rip-
me too. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I do feel like he probably just had a lot of bad direction from George Lucas. Like
Definitely.
I think that it was just like a performance that was cast astray by the director, and because I mean Natalie Portman is equally like kind of cringy in these movies, and I know that she's a good actress. Like
Oh, she's a great actress. Yeah.
you just got to keep in mind that the people that did these movies were struggling with a lot, you know, with
Yeah.
poor dialogue, with poor direction, with mostly CGI like scenery. Like I think it's amazing that anything is comprehensible. I mean, like comprehensible from these movies.
Yeah. There could be like a whole like classroom like setting about these prequel movies, like everything about them. Like you just go through and dissect them, in a whole
Yeah, you gotta learn from
semester.
George Lucas's mistakes. I mean, let me tell you, don't make your movie entirely based in CGI.
True.
That's a great way to date it, like so
Yeah.
fast. Which
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
not to knock like CGI animators or anything, but like, I mean, in terms of like live action mixing with CGI, like don't. I mean, just try not to have your actors on blue screens the whole time. Although I feel like that's where movies have headed anywhere. Anyway, like that's how Marvel
Yeah.
movies are. You know, the Avengers are shot exclusively on like blue screens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into like the whole CGI versus practical effects debate. I feel like that's its own little episode.
That's
probably.
another episode, especially with like horror movies that I would love to talk about. I do want to say though before we sign off today, the Golden Globe nominations are absolutely ridiculous and stupid, and I hate them.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of them. It's again very whitewashed. Don't mean to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. There's hardly any people of color nominated for the actor and actresses category. Like the actress category, really. There's like a couple, but that's it. Like a lot of them, it's like every year the Golden Globes continuously take just the most ridiculous steps towards idiocy, more than they ever have. It's like they're completely tone deaf. You've got the music thing, you've got the Minari thing, you've got, just all of these just nominations are just ridiculous. Like, there's like no, like, diversity, at all.
Yeah, it just is so disheartening to see like the foreign press at that like make these mistakes. Like, typically, like the Oscars have their reputation of being whitewashed, and now like the Golden Globes have gotten to this point. It's just like, we need to fucking fix our awards shows. Like, we need to stop falling into these traps of going for award bait movies like music, or like only nominating like people who are white or white filmmakers. Like, let's fucking see some diversity, and especially when it comes to women directors. Like, I'm so sick and tired of seeing directors not taken seriously. Like Greta Gerwig getting snubbed by pretty much every award show last year.
That was ridiculous.
Just fucking awful.
Which, I mean, I will say this year's Golden Globes, they have 3 women directors nominated, which is really cool, really awesome.
I mean, that's like a step up, but that doesn't mean you get to take steps backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of your like other categories.
Exactly.
Like, don't just listen to our one, like, complaint. Like, address everything that's wrong with your awards show. Like, actually grow.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like you're not starved for diverse, cast and directors and everything. You're not starved for that. There's movies coming out every day, good movies, that you can nominate. But like, I don't know. It's just it's insane to me how we can still just be like. Just everybody on here is just people that have been like nominated many times before, and that's okay if they still get nominated, but they have like a limit on how many people can be nominated for something, and it's like if you need to extend that limit to include everybody, then do that. I don't care. Just at least give them the recognition they deserve. Is all I'm saying, because. I don't know. Did like Steven Yeun even get nominated in the Golden Globes for his performance in Minari, which I heard was amazing? I still need to watch it. But...
Well, okay. Like, one of the big problems is like they didn't nominate I May Destroy You, which is this really great like black like look at rape culture. Like they nominated like Emily in Paris instead and shit like that, which that rubs me the wrong way. Let me see. I'm looking for Best Actor. Yeah, Stephen Young is not mentioned whatsoever. There's like Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins, Chadwick Boseman, Riz Ahmed, which I'm glad to see him on there, as well as Chadwick Boseman. But Minari is just like not being considered a real movie, essentially. Like, this is so fucking terrible. Like, James Corden is nominated for an award.
That is so... I saw that. Like, that is ridiculous. I can't fathom it anymore. I just...
This is ridiculous,
yeah.
dude. I don't know that I'll be tuning into the Golden Globes. Like,
no,
I never do anyway.
Yeah,
but
no. I always tune into the Oscars.
I just hope, the Oscars take notes of like what the Golden Globes are doing wrong. I mean, and I mean, the Oscars last year gave cred to Parasite, which was refreshing. So I hope that we're seeing a new evolved Oscars that continues this year.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I want there to be a little bit more of a more diverse group of films and stuff and actors to choose from. Because they're just not getting recognized, which is, kind of frustrating. But alas, we are just podcasters.
Yeah. Well, tell us what you would like to see nominated or win even at these awards shows. What got snubbed. We'd love to hear what some of your favorite movies or performances of the year were. Share with us at Mind Over Movies 2 on Twitter and Mind_over_movies on Instagram.
Yes, we are on both now.
We've evolved.
We're polluting the airways. This good talk, everybody. Good talk. Watch movies, guys. Go watch Minari if you haven't. Go watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom if you haven't.
Consume
propaganda, children. I think I'm gonna go actually finish The Little Things and possibly watch Ma Rainey or Minari, whichever one I want to watch first. Can't figure out yet. Can't decide, but yeah.
Gotcha. I'm going to enter The Void, and maybe I'll be back next week. Maybe I won't. It's just that kind of decision.
Okay.
Do you want to come with or anything?
You know what? Yeah, if you could open it over here at my house too,
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me use my mind powers really quick.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, I see it. Okay, cool. Am I good to go through now?
See you there, man.
Okay, cool. I'll see you later. This has been
Yeah,
Mind Over
bye.
Movies. Goodbye.
Mind Over Movies.
Okay. Oh, this kind of hurts. Oh my god.